And Colonel, does your answer also then extend to the delays with Warrant Officers Pakula's supervisor?
That will be same.
But you'll recall that, I don't know his designation, but Cipingu was at the scene. Apologies? Colonel Cipingu, who is Warrant Officer Pakula's supervisor.
What I can tell the Commissioner is that I did not see Colonel Cipingu on the scene. I only heard. Then I even heard from him that he was there at the scene. That is when, if I remember well, we met again the arrest was on Friday. We met at Alberton's, Boyson's police cells when we were obtaining fingerprints and other from the arrested people, and the confrontation I had with him. The second time I met with Cipingu was on Monday, when we were placing the matter on the control, when he volunteered to give me the statement, on-duty statement, as the command. That is the 2 days that I interacted with Cipingu.
Wasn't the issue also that because he was on leave during the early part of July, he should not even have been involved with these things?
That I think I testified to that effect to say.
Because he came back on the 12th of July from leave.
Yes,
so
it was.
When these things were happening, he should not have been anywhere.
He should not have been there. That is why I said his interaction with me with regard to the case and the presence of Pakula there was not supposed to even have happened.
All right. Thank you, Colonel. If we can then move to what the NPA said. You were at paragraph 20.
I have also considered the decision taken by the National Prosecuting Authority in relation to the matter. Following the representation submitted by the BTK attorneys, the Director of Public Prosecution for Gauteng Local Division, Advocate J.M. Serepo, ruled on 2022-06-23 that the representations were unsuccessful and prosecution should proceed. Subsequently, on 2024-01-29, the Deputy National Director of Public Prosecution, Advocate R.J. de Kock, considered the matter and decided not to pursue the prosecution. I further considered the correspondence from the Director of Public Prosecution, Gauteng, Advocate J.M. Serepo, in a letter dated 2025-02-14, addressed to the provincial head of DPCI in Gauteng. Advocate Serepo confirmed that there was, in his view, a prima facie case relating to the alleged contravention of Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act. This is a clear indication that there was sufficient grounds for me to believe that the 4 accused should have been charged in dealing in drugs, alternatively possession of drugs.
Thank you, Colonel. Maybe, oh, my apologies. Are you done with that?
Yes, paragraph 22, I'm done.
If we go, just to remind me, when did you stop being involved in the investigation? When you moved to Limpopo?
The last time it was when it was requested to the DPP. Then I was transferred to West Rand. From West Rand, I went to Limpopo.
When was it when you were transferred to West Rand?
It was around 2022.
Right. So,
It was around 2022 early, but towards the end, I left for Limpopo.
so
In your earlier statement, you said in November 2022, you were promoted to Limpopo.
Yes.
Does it sound right?
In late, yeah.
Colonel, if you look at the reasons, so just to recall the history, initially the matter was going to proceed, and then the prosecutor decided not to proceed with the prosecution. This was in 2022, recall that?
Yes.
And this was a decision taken by Advocate de Kock.
In 2022.
Yes, in 2022. No, my apologies, 2024. Maybe let's just go to page 1 of the exhibit file with Boysons and Khan disciplinary.
Page.
Page 1. You'll see there it was a response to General Kadwa providing reasons why the MPA had decided not to prosecute.
Yes, that one I've seen.
And they deal with the reasons at paragraph 6. So if you just go to page 2.
Yes.
You'll see there that the prosecutor lists a number of reasons why they decided not to prosecute. And a lot of them relate to this issue relating to supervisors' knowledge. So if you look at the first one, at 6.1, there was a statement from General Khan stating that he contacted Warrant Officer Pakula's supervisor, Colonel Cipingu, who informed him that he didn't know that Pakula was involved in the operation. And it says materially contradicts the statement of Detective Cipingu, who states that Pakula did inform him of the operation.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Yes. Do you want to comment on this criticism? Or you still maintain that it was because, I think it's
Commissioner,
Commissioner
if I had to,
Malo with the assist regarding Colonel Cipingu's role. So the prosecutor was essentially saying that there are material contradictions in the statements contained in the docket, was one of the reasons.
that is one of the reasons.
Yes. Okay. The second relates to, again, that if you consider Warrant Officer Pakula's role in particular, that he was invited by Warrant Officer Mahane to assist, and he only arrived at the scene after the drugs were loaded onto the truck.
I could see that reason.
Yeah, so that essentially that he wasn't involved in that part. Yet he's equally charged with the same offense.
I don't know how to comment on this reasoning, commissioners, because
You don't agree with the reasoning?
I don't agree with, because it seems they were checking for what, if I will have to put it on my own way.
Yes.
Those who were deciding on this case, they were only looking at the best reason that they can give or to convince me why we are not proceeding with your case. This is me sitting here reading at these reports. They were not dealing with all these material facts that are within the dockets. We have got other things that they have looked into. I don't even get clarity why they were not overlooked.
So,
But to me, the reasonings are not fair.
so your general response, we don't need to go through all the reasons. Your general response to the criticism is that you think there are critical things that they overlooked
That is correct.
and that the criticism is unfair.
Very unfair.
Then we can go to paragraph 23 of your statement.
I was concerned by the conduct of certain senior police officers and the role they played in the crime scene. Based on the information that I have reviewed, certain actions and decisions taken at the scene raised questions that, in my view, warrant further scrutiny and further investigation. The circumstances surrounding their involvement create an appearance of possible improper motives or interest. However, I acknowledge that any determination in this regard should be based on thorough assessment of all available evidence and findings of the appropriate investigative authorities. It is also noteworthy that certain senior officers sought to involve themselves in operational matters relating to the investigation. In my experience, the extent of their involvement in these operational activities was unusual and raised concern in my mind regarding the nature and purpose of their participation. As a result, their level of involvement created doubts and prompted questions as to whether their actions were entirely consistent with the expected role and responsibilities.
Who are you referring to specifically?
Commissioners, you can be aware that I was confronted with a certain statement, that of General Khan, and of which, when I was on my own going through the docket, I asked myself, does this man know how the scene could be handled? Because had he approached the scene the way it was supposed to be, we were not going to be confronted with this level of questioning, commissioners, because that should have been resolved right away on the scene. But based on their interferences and other things, what was supposed to be a good case has been lost. That is my view, commissioners.
Just to read.
And then, Commissioner,
We know one senior official that you have mentioned and that we know was on the scene, General Khan. Who else? Because you speak in the plural. Who are these senior officials?
I'm aware that General Kadwa was present on the scene. I'm aware that General Kalakala was on the scene. But one can ask what role were they playing, but except for that of General Kadwa to say, I was sent.
Colonel?
And then also to the fact that I got instructed, because I'm investigating the matter, then I'm referred to obtain certain statements from the accused person, more in particular, the one of Pakula.
Just for clarity, Colonel, that instruction was from General Kadwa.
I am sent by General Kadwa, who is informed by General Khan, go and obtain the statement of Pakula in prison. Then I interviewed Pakula. Pakula came up with certain allegations also. Then I've related the same allegation to the person who sent me to prison. So I'm saying, based on... Sorry, Commissioner, I'm listening.
Now, I was going to say, you've given us 3 names of senior officials, and then you have now given us one instance that you consider or considered to be interference where you get instructions from Kadwa, from General Kadwa, who is giving you instructions obtained from General Khan to go and speak with I think it's Warrant Officer Pakula, if I'm not mistaken. What other instances of interference are you referring to?